Hey guys, my name is Max, and today on the Halo Chronicles, I'm going to be talking about a few small changes you can make to your game to improve at Super Fiesta in Halo 5. So, when playing 4v4 game types, I sometimes struggle quite a bit as I'm sort of a platinum to diamond player. But one game type that I will consistently do quite well in, and I've got some gameplay on the screen to hopefully show that off, is Super Fiesta. And that is not necessarily because my gun skill is improving, because my map knowledge is improving. It is because of one very simple but very fundamental factor that comes into Super Fiesta, which makes playing it much funner for me. I know a lot of people still play Super Fiesta just because it's such a varied and interesting experience to play with so many new weapon variants, and you don't have to use up rank cards and things like that. And this one small thing that people really do stay away from, which is something that would seriously improve their game, is knowing every single weapon, what it's good at, and where its weaknesses are. There are many weapons in Halo 5 which have many strengths and many weaknesses throughout the variants. So, for an example, would be the sniper, where the default sniper and the arrow of time have quite bad recoil control, whereas the end of the line has no recoil at all. And the arrow of time's boosts and perks are that it has an extra 2 shots in the magazine, but it also doesn't get descoped when you get shot, I believe. That's either that one or the Nornfang. And I know most of the weapons, most of how all of them work, most of their perks and drawbacks. It's like certain gravity hammers, I think the Corpse Maker, when you hit it down, if you don't hit directly on an enemy, sometimes it might push you back a little bit further than you'd need, and you can't always get a second swing in. And it's about being aware of which weapons you have, as a lot of players will sort of go with the same playstyle with every single weapon they use. However, in this game, I'm probably going to feature a few gameplay situations where I'm not necessarily using the best weapons, but I'm using them in the situations they're meant for. So I'll sometimes spawn with a brute plasma rifle, and I will be able to use that to good effect by hiding around corners, waiting for someone with, say, a sniper to run around the corner. Then I can just put a few shots in melee, take their sniper, and then reposition to somewhere with more open sight lines. As a lot of players don't know every single weapon variant, so might just run for things like the Answer, Whiplash, Blow the Suban, any incineration cannons, rocket launchers, but most of the time you won't spawn with these weapons directly, and if you do, it's going to be much more uncommon than common. So you need to sort of learn how to use every single little weapon variant. It's why when I spawn with a Bayonet BR, I will try and keep that out much more of the time because it acts like a mini energy sword almost. So a lot of players will try and just use it like your standard BR, but I'll try and play a bit more conservatively. Try and once maybe I've killed 1 or 2 players, then hide, and try and look for getting a melee kill or something on someone who might be holding a shotgun or might be unaware and holding a sniper that I can then run in and be aggressive with. And the next point surrounding this would be knowing your weapon combos. I'll either post it later on the channel or we'll put it in this video. A running riot I got on Torque using the Void's Tear and the pistol, as well as the Twin Jewels of Maethrillion, and they're the only 3 weapons I used in that whole combo, and I was killing people with rockets, snipers, automatic weapons, shotguns, because I knew how to use the weapon combos. So I would use the Void's Tear, keep it constantly held down because I know that weapon, it doesn't drain its battery when you hold it down, and then I would simply fire it towards enemies, then use my Twin Jewels of Maethrillion to take out their bodies, or use the pistol if I'm using that just to pop a few headshots in, and I would maybe shoot the Void's Tear into an area I knew enemies were in, so that I would get a few shots in, I'd know exactly where they are because the hit markers would start to come up, and it's little things like that. I also tend to do that with the Dying Star, so I might, if I think there's an enemy around the corner, I'll shoot the floor next to it, and then if I get the hit marker, I can then move in. So it's trying to use every little weapon's boosts, because an example like that with the Void's Tear and the Dying Star, the other weapon variants of that weapon do not have those perks, and a lot of people will just see that they've got a light rifle and then will instinctively back off and try and get long range headshots, when sometimes that might not always be the best approach, and some people might try and use the Void's Tear to hold down the plasma pistol and then run in for a melee, and that works with the Spitfire and the standard plasma pistol because they don't create the vortex. But if you shoot the Void's Tear at too close a range, you're going to end up just creating the vortex and getting stuck in it yourself and draining your own shields as well as your opponents, and then you're probably going to end up trading. but in the Running Riot I got using it on Torque, I was keeping my distance with the Void Stare, making sure that I could throw frags straight at them, because once they're trapped in the vortex for that little bit, they're completely vulnerable and they can barely move at all. So I'm able to perfectly plant grenades for them, and I think matching your frag grenades with the Void Stare is a great combination, and Torque is easily one of the best maps to manipulate that with on Halo 5. I'm not a huge fan of maps like Orion 2, which is why there's not too much gameplay from that map in here, as I'm still trying to get used to it, as it's such a new map and I'm not really enjoying everything about it. But with Torque, you've obviously got the sniper huts and all the little lanes down the side. You've obviously got the little shotgun-esque rooms that you can sit in if you spawn with a gravity hammer. If I spawn with like a melee weapon or any type of close range weapon, I will always run into those two rooms at the side on Torque and then wait for enemies to try and push in and be aggressive, and I'll pick up a few kills off the start. And I often find when I've killed someone in that room, they are dropping battle rifles or snipers or weapons like a needler, weapons that you shouldn't be running around tight corners with, and you get punished for it. Or sometimes they'll drop a combat evolved pistol, and then I'll take that and then I'll move out of that room because I know I can move into a better situation. So I'd say the one little tip that would improve everyone's gameplay in Halo 5 Super Fiesta would be to watch what weapons you have, learn the variants before playing if you want to try and maybe have a better time because you feel like you enjoy the game mode but you're not quite getting everything from it. And this will really help your gameplay improve, as I've seen so many people misusing a weapon. I know a lot of my friends, they see almost no use in the Brute Plasma Rifle, and that's because they're using it at sort of medium range, or the Storm Rifle, but the way obviously you use those two weapons is just to spray them off if you're at mid range, and then when you down the shield, swip out to a precision weapon. I'd say that's the best combo for those, anything outside of a close range. And just learning every single perk of every weapon, such as like the Sorrow of Tish, which is the best Brute Plasma Rifle variant, has a one-hit melee, which a lot of people really don't utilise too much. It's sort of like having a bayonet, but with, I don't think it has quite the lunge distance. So providing I know my opponents don't have hammers or energy swords, I will try and use that as much as possible. And some of the weapons, it's really good to know what your opponent has. So if you see the flare of a sniper, you instantly know sniper, beam rifle or binary rifle just by the colour of the flare or red lines. As the sniper has that whitish flare, the beam rifle has the purple one, and the binary has the red line. Also being able to see someone charging a Spartan laser. Then you can also see people who are holding whiplashes. That's fairly common because if you see the railguns charging up a lot, and if they're really quickly fired, then you know they've got a whiplash. And weapons like the arc light and incineration cannon and every variant of the plasma pistol, when being charged up, you can hear them from quite a distance away. So I might have a few examples in this gameplay where I take down people who have maybe even the Heartseeker, the best variant of the incineration cannon, because I'm able to hear exactly where they are because they're making so much noise with the weapon, as it's just so clear what direction they're in. And the same with the arc light, same with the plasma pistol, and I might only have a precision weapon and I'm able to take down these really high ret guards by jumping into these situations, taking control, and knowing my limitations with the weapons I have, as many people just don't seem to change up their playstyle. But I say the mantra to know for this is just to know what cards you were dealt and be able to use the weapons you currently have on you, no matter how bad, no matter how good, and just play them to their strengths, and you will be fine in Super Fiesta. So thank you all for watching the video. If you have any suggestions for future topics for me to discuss, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.